first grade! It's Mrs. Knight, back again. We are going to read chapter 6 of Junie B. Jones' First Grader at Last today. And it only took me 3 videos, but I finally figured out, I think, a good spot to read where you guys can see me, and hopefully the pictures are going to be easier to see. I don't think that I'm going to have a camera like Miss Shelby, and that's just going to have to be, okay, so we're going to make it work. So, last time we read, though, I got a bunch of predictions from you guys, and I wanted to share with you some of the predictions that I got. So give me 1 second, and I'm going to go grab them. Okay, so I got 6 predictions, and you guys all said the same thing, and it's so awesome. Danny, Allie, Anella, James, Dalen, and Chandler all reached out to me, and you guys all agree that you think Junie B. Jones needs glasses. And I think that is an awesome prediction based on everything that we were reading. Junie B. Jones got some of the words, but she was sitting so far in the back of the classroom, and she was squinting her eyes. She couldn't get them correctly. And she's talking to the nurse, and I just feel like that is a really good prediction. I also heard from Gus's mom and Brooks's mom, and you guys are watching too, so I just wanted to say hello. I miss you guys all. I love you. Please keep sending me videos. Anella sent me a video, so that's kind of impressive. Actually, Gus sent me one too. I think actually Chandler might have sent me one too, but Anella sent me her prediction in a video, so I thought that was really cool. So I love to hear from you guys and see you guys. I love to see what you're up to, so keep them coming. Okay, last time we read, Junie B. Jones was in the nurse's office with Mrs. Weller, and she was really bummed out because she was missing recess. And she was just like not feeling really good in her stomach because she was going to play a game with the nurse, and she just did not want to do that. So that is where we left off. Chapter 6 is called The E Game. Like the letter E. I sat in a chair next to Mrs. Weller's desk. She asked me lots of questions. First, she asked me how I liked my summer vacation. Then she asked me how I liked first grade and how I liked Mr. Scary. That is called stall talk, I believe. Finally, Mrs. Weller stood up. Have you noticed the eye charts I have hanging on my wall, Junie B? She asked. She pointed to them. Eye charts are posters that help us test our eyesight, she explained. I have 2 different kinds. See, one has alphabet letters on it, and the one right next to it is filled with funny E's. That one is called an E chart. I looked at that funny thing. So there's a picture of her chart, and it's got upside down E's and backwards and forwards and left and right, and they're kind of all wonky all over the place. Whoa, I said. Those are the craziest E's I ever saw. They are backwards and forwards and upside down. You're right, said Mrs. Weller. The E's are all mixed up, aren't they? And today you and I are going to play a game with those mixed up E's. It's called the E game. After that, Mrs. Weller got a little paper cup, and she showed me how to hold it over one of my eyes. We're going to be testing each of your eyes separately, she said. While one eye is hiding under the cup, the other eye will play the game, okay? I shrugged my shoulders. Because what choice did I have? Mrs. Weller showed me where to stand to play the game. Then she went back to the E chart. All right, she said. Now, each time I point to one of the E's, I want you to tell me the direction it's facing. Are you ready, Junie B? I shrugged again. Then I hid one eye behind the cup, and Mrs. Weller pointed at the first E. I pointed my finger up. That one is facing up at the ceiling, I told her. So, I know it's kind of hard to see with the sun, but there's Junie B. Jones with her finger pointing up and one of her eyes is covered up. And then there is Mrs. Weller pointing to the letters. So Junie B. Jones is kind of doing her little eye test now. So far so good. She got the first one right, it looks like. Good, she said. Excellent. I felt a little better inside. Mrs. Weller pointed to the next E. Let's see what the first E was going up, and the next E. I turned my finger down at the floor. That one is facing down, I said. Mrs. Weller smiled and nodded. I stood up taller, because this wasn't as hard as I thought. After that, the nurse kept on pointing at more E's, and I kept on telling her which way they were facing. Right, left, down, left, up. I stopped and grinned. Hey, what do you know? I'm a breeze at this game, right? Oh, right, Mrs. Weller, right, right. Mrs. Weller winked at me. We're almost done, she said. Only a few more E's to go. She pointed to a new row. There was a fuzzy smudgy next to her finger. Whoops, I said. What happened there? Did someone spill something on your chart? Mrs. Weller did a little frown. She kept on pointing at the smudge. Can you tell me anything about this mark at all, Junie B? She asked. Yes, I said. It's a smear ball. Mrs. Weller moved her finger over a little bit. What about this mark here? Can you tell me anything about this one? I stared and stared at that thing. That one's a toughie, I said. Mrs. Weller came over to me. That's fine, she said. You did just fine, Junie B. After that, we played the same game with my other eye. And guess what? I saw 3 more smudges and a smeary. After I was done, I sat down in the chair again. Mrs. Weller said, I need glasses. I do not like Mrs. Weller. And that is the end of that chapter. Oh my gosh. Those of you who predicted she needed glasses, air high five me. Very, very good guesses. Chapter 7 is called Good Guessing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read that one right now too and post it because that was kind of a short chapter. I have loved hearing your guys' predictions. If you have any more predictions about Chapter 7 or Chapter 8, let me know, and we will just keep this game going. I think what we're going to do, too, is we're going to be finishing this book. This book only has 2 more chapters, and then it's totally done. So I think that I need to go find a new Junie B. Jones book for us to read. So that is that. I love you guys. I will see you soon. Have a great night.